All right, patrons, drop what you're doing. We've got the clips. Now, the moment the fake news media want you to forget, they hit President Trump with the gotcha questions trying to prove that his trade war was a failure. But what will happen when the deal maker is forced to, explain basic economics to a journalist who reads only talking points? Now, let's break this down segment by segment.
This trade war, though, was hurting Americans. I mean, our soybean farmers, China had stopped buying the soybeans. Yeah. China was withholding these rare earth materials that you need for everything from smartphones to build submarines.
Sure.
Right there, you see the setup. Now, the narrative is always pain and suffering. Now, they bring up the suffering that soybean farmer, they bring up the temporary hiccups in the supply chain, and then they throw in the Chinese Communist Party's ultimate threat, which is the rare earth minerals. Now, for those who do not know, rare earths are everything. They are in your fighter jets, your iPhones, your missile guidance systems. Now, China thought they had the nuclear option. That's the ability to cripple the industries. And it was in that moment they said, "We own you, America." Now, the interviewer is trying to make President Trump look cornered. But what she's doing is actually teeing up the greatest trader counterpunch.
What was the crucial thing? I mean, how tough of a
Well,
negotiator
when you
is
say
President
hurting,
Xi?
it was a temporary hurt. It was a hurt because I was taking in a lot of money from China. We were doing very well against China. And all of a sudden they said, we have to fight back. And so they used their powers. The power they have is rare earth because of the fact that they've been accumulating it and really taking care of it for a period of 25, 30 years. Other countries haven't. They used that against us. And we used other things against them. For instance, airplane parts, that's a big deal. They have hundreds of Boeing airplanes. We wouldn't give them parts. We were both acting maybe a little bit irrationally, but the big thing we had was tariffs ultimately. I said, look, if you don't open up, then what we're going to do is we're going to impose 100% tariff over and above what you're already paying. And as soon as I said that, they came to the table. We met in South Korea, as you saw. A lot of people watched. And we made a really good deal.
Now, listen to this. Trump actually admits the threat. He's not living in a fantasy world. He says the power they have is rare earth because, they've been accumulating it and other countries have not. Now, that's the plain truth. A failure of 30 years of weak globalist policy. But then, the leverage bomb drops. And what did Trump do? He didn't send strong-worded letters. He didn't call the United Nations. Neither did he beg. Trump actually said, "I immediately instituted a 100% tariff and above what they were already paying." A 100% tariff, of course. You can literally see the interviewer's brain short circuiting. That's not diplomacy. That's actually applying, maximum economic pressure. A clear message that the American consumer market is not a privilege, for the Chinese Communist Party to abuse. He used our economic strength to, counter the national security.
And it was good for them also, I hope. I mean, I want it to be good for both sides, but we'll be taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in the form of tariffs. Tariffs are incredible because they really give us great national security. As an example, when they pulled the rare earth on us and the rest of the world, if we didn't have tariffs to fight back, I immediately instituted a 100% tariff over and above what they were already paying. And when I did that, they immediately came to the table. Without tariffs, we would not have had that privilege. We would have not have had that right. Tariffs give us national security and great wealth.
This is the segment they edited out. This is the part that proves the entire media narrative is a lie. He says, as soon as I said that, they came to the table. Talk about negotiation 101. You apply the pain, and then the opponent who can survive without your business submits. The rare earth threat, that's gone, completely gone. And the final mic drop sentence, tariffs gives us, the national security and, the great wealth. It's not a tax on the American consumer, folks. It's a tool boot on the global abusers, to fund the American government and protect our critical supply lines. It's the opposite of being hot. It's about turning a financial wound from decades of bad deals into strategic shield for the future. Now, the trade war was not a blunder. It was a brilliantly executed maneuver to, reclaim the American sovereignty and wealth. They want you to think that this is complicated. It's not. The greatest threat to America was our dependency on a hostile regime. President Trump saw the problem, deployed the most powerful weapon in the economic arsenal, that's the tariff, and forced the enemies to retreat. Now, that is strength, that is winning. And what other segment of the interview would you want me to analyze, to expose the fake news agenda? Now, folks, I'd like to know what you all think in the comment section, and please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Until our next clip, please keep staying peaceful. Peace.